Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Check. Test. Help. Help. Oh no. Oh no. Asparagus. Asparagus. Help. Help. Testing. Testing. Do you hear me? Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to be teaching you how to make some fat bombs. Fat bombs are a nutritious option for people who are looking to include more fat and high calorie, high saturated oils, and generally high fat stuff in their diet. It's a fad that started several years ago with celebrities in Hollywood like the Kardashians, and still remains to be seen what the scientific evidence of increasing your fat intake is, but it is something that we're going to be discussing a little bit and also teaching you how to make. Let's take a look at what we have ahead of us here. I also want to mention that today's stream, show, will be sponsored by Factor 75. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on their tracker now. It's been a very exciting journey for me. The fact that I was approached by a food company to do a sponsored stream, it makes me ecstatic. And this is probably, hopefully the beginning of a long career here on Twitch. And I want to thank the viewers out there for helping me get to this point, and thank the moderators and all the other people that came forward. Excuse me if I'm a little bit out of sorts, because today's going to be a little bit different, but as we go through our recipe, I'll be mentioning Factor 75 and what it is that they do, and I'll be going to their website to teach you how to do that. So, without further ado, oh, look at that. Somebody subscribed. Named Franz Schubert, resubscribed for 4 months. Thanks. Along with the Giraffe Guy and Uhe76, Ari Cakes 7, Orgasmo Smimovo, and Video Neon. So thanks, everybody. And Canadian with a CH. Okay. Good Without God says, nice job cleaning the grease off your camera. It's nice and clear now. Thank you. I'm trying to upgrade the production value here at Henry's Kitchen. If anybody out there notices anything that is lacking in production value, please let me know, because these are important things to me. Style cramps. my friend whose podcast I did about a week ago, gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Thanks, Style Cramps. Also, Pubic Pimple Pus has resubscribed Tier 1 for 2 months. So thank you, Pubic Pimple Pus. That's a tough thing to say. Pubic Pimple Pus. If you can say it 5 times, then you're a better person than I am. Art Markar says, tell us about Factor 75. I think that's a good idea. The first thing that I'm going to say is that it's basically a boxed meal service that's going to take away your tendency to make a big mess when you're in the kitchen. If there's some times that you just don't feel like you want to do all this cooking like we've been doing, and I've mentioned before that cooking is an extremely difficult process. Sometimes you just want to say screw it and just order boxed meals. These are you can get any type of meal that you want. They can be vegetarian or vegan, or they can be high calorie, whatever you're looking for. But I do want to say, if you do order some boxes on Factor 75, use my link. There's a link underneath the, I guess underneath the Twitch stream, or go to go.factor75.com and use this code FACTORSE4324, and you get $130 off across 6 boxes. I did it last night, and I'm going to show you how to do it in a little bit. So there you have it. We're going to be talking more about that later, but thank you, Art Markar. Zodbane says the better production value is very noticeable. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I think I've increased the frame rate specifically. What deduct D? Do you deliver to Asia? Will it arrive within 30 minutes like Domino's? I assume you mean Domino's Pizza. My guess is probably no. I don't think that it's gonna arrive within 30 minutes. I think it actually takes a little longer than that, but I'm not sure actually. That information's probably on the website, which again you can link to underneath the Twitch. So we've got everything's right with the world right now. We've got I'll check in real quick with my cat here. Roast beef, deep in thought it looks like. We're going to be using the roast. I'm going to steal the roast beef camera so that we can also use it to do some stuff on the counter here. So let's take a look at some of our ingredients that we're going to be using today. Now I know probably the first thing you're saying is, wow, that looks like a lot of nasty shit. But the reality is this is all very healthy ingredients. Well, no, not healthy by any means. These are very high calorie ingredients. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what we're going to end up with here. We're going to make something called bullet coffee, which is coffee with butter in it. And we're also going to have cookie dough fat bombs that you can see on the left there. And then we're also going to have something called burger fat bombs, which is in the middle. And those are basically burgers and cheese with a lot of oil. So there's going to be a lot of saturated fat and high calorie stuff that's going to go along with this diet. Why don't we start off with the coffee? Let's talk a little bit about what is butter coffee, how it's made, and why people drink it. In the late 2000s, lifestyle author and the CEO of Bulletproof, Dave Asprey, returned from Tibet. Now, that's a bunch of... butter coffee, that's what we're going to be talking about. Despite the emergence of butter coffee as a fitness trend in the 2000s, The practice of mixing butter and coffee is more than 1,000 years old. The earliest evidence of this is coffee grounds being consumed with clarified butter in Ethiopia in the 9th century. Adding fat to coffee isn't a new concept, Anita says. Ethiopians and the Tibetans were drinking yak milk coffee long before it became a favorite among fitness enthusiasts on those low-carb, high-fat diets. Well, let's cut to how we're making it. Butter coffee is a high-calorie, high-fat drink that is free from carbohydrates. So that's good if you're watching your carbs. And it's unsweetened. For this reason, it's often drunk as breakfast by those following a low-carb, high-fat diet, also known as the ketogenic diet. Speaking of the ketogenic diet, I want to mention that the sponsor for today's broadcast, Factor 75, also includes ketogenic options in the meals. You can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across all 6 boxes. I know that wasn't the most organic of segues, but I'm still trying to get used to this kind of thing. So let's make butter coffee. I'm going to start by moving all this shit aside because we're going to need this for our later situation. Right now, all we need is literally some butter and our coffee. I'm actually going to go ahead and refill my coffee. I've pre-made my coffee with coffee beans and water. If you have hot water and coffee beans, you've got coffee. You just need to figure out how to grind the beans. I use a method where I put put the coffee beans in a plastic bag and then hammer them with a hammer or a mallet or a shoe. I've demonstrated that before, and I can do it again, but that's basically what happens there, and then you mix it with hot water. So I have here some butter, and I don't think we're supposed to put the amount of butter that we use is quite a bit, actually. It says it wants 3 tablespoons of butter, so I don't even know if I have 3 tablespoons, but I'm just going to kind of guesstimate. This is a regular spoon, so I'm not going to be able to do the conversion. I'll do the conversion of my... Well, actually, Alexa, how many regular spoons is 3 tablespoons?
This might answer your question. 3 tablespoons is equal to 3 teaspoons.
Okay. Did it just say 3 tablespoons? Alexa, can you repeat that?
This might answer your question. 3 tablespoons is equal to 3 teaspoons.
So I never knew that 3 tablespoons was equal to 3 teaspoons. This whole time I've been thinking those were totally different measurements. Let's see if anybody in the chat has any experience with tablespoons. Jesse says people always make that mistake. The Brobotics says mind blown. D's Nuts 420 says thanks, Alexa. All right, so we've got our butter in our coffee, and let's mix this up. Ideally, the butter is going to dissolve into the coffee. This should be a trend for you guys. I'm sure a lot of people out there are coffee drinkers. If coffee is something that you enjoy, and large amounts of butter is also something you enjoy, you could probably just skip breakfast and use this Fat Bomb coffee cup of happy as your as your breakfast. So I'm going to do this for a little bit. See if there's any questions. Friendly Dat says, what's cooking good looking? I think that's a reference to a song from the 50s. Slash Knox, hello Henry, this is Jack from Factor 75. We love what you've done with our sponsorship, but how do you please a woman? My guess is that person isn't actually from the company, but that would be a good tutorial video. Indoor Texture says, can I substitute energy drink for the coffee if I'm out of coffee? An energy drink? Yeah, I guess anything with caffeine is gonna work. Let's see how this tastes. So we started out with a softball here. We started out with something pretty easy. That's a lot of butter. And I wouldn't mind having a little sweetener in there, but honestly, sweetener would definitely be carbs. So we're not going to do that, and we don't want to put chemicals in there by using a fake sweetener. So we've got basically 2 organic ingredients here. We've got real butter along with real coffee. It's a little much, but we're gonna hold on to that. So what I want you to do, if you're just joining us right now, we made butter coffee, so you didn't miss much. We're gonna set this aside, and we're gonna start working on our next item, which is going to be our, let's see here. Let's go ahead and make our burgers. So for our Fat Bomb burgers, we're going to need some cooking spray, a pound of ground beef, some garlic powder. Here, I've got all this stuff I can show you. Got our ground beef. I don't know what that is. Oh, I don't have garlic powder. I have onion powder, which is basically the same thing. I don't know what this is. This is some old cheese. Looks a little run down. I have another cheese over here. We've got our salt for seasoning, our pepper, more butter, and we're also going to have, our cheddar cheese, as well as lettuce. Lettuce is probably the most healthy thing that we've had here. Oh, and tomatoes, and a little bit of mustard for serving. So, let's see here. First thing we're gonna do, I hate when this happens, especially I'm in Southern California and we're having an extreme heat wave here, but unfortunately we're gonna have to preheat the oven to 375 degrees, and we're gonna use a little muffin tin. You know what? I think I have a better idea. I have this thing here, which is called the Baby Cakes Cake Pop Maker. I was almost going to take it back, but I'm going to take it out of the packaging, and we're going to use this. All this does basically is that it makes circular types of food. It makes it look like balls, but it's not something that I can't seem to open it, but we're gonna get this. Hold on a sec. Alright. I'm gonna try to set this up so that you can see it. It's already getting very hot there. Okay, so if you look over here, we've got, well, it's upside down. Jeez. See if we can get a good shot of that. This is the cake pop maker, and we're gonna be using this to make our burger stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the instructions. Okay, so preheat the oven. We're not going to be preheating the oven because it's really hot. We're going to be using the cake pop maker, which is going to make our food look like balls, which is handy if you're doing falafels or if you're doing truffles or obviously cake pops. And I think there's been a few other, I think when we did our takoyaki octopus balls, it came in handy for that. So we're going to season our beef with some garlic powder, salt, and pepper. So let's go ahead and move all this stuff out of the way. And we're going to grab a bowl here. And we're going to take our beef, put it in there. It's been in the fridge for quite a while, that's why it's sort of sticking. I'll be using Beyond Beef for this recipe. You can use whatever you want. But let's go ahead and season this. We want a little bit of our salt. I have a salt grinder here, as well as some pepper. And we also need our garlic powder. I don't have garlic powder, I have onion powder, but you use what you got. We're gonna start stirring this around. You can use whatever utensil you have handy. I happen to have a spreading knife. So if you're just joining us today, we're making fat bombs. We've already made fat bomb coffee, which is basically coffee with massive amounts of butter in it. This is for people who are on a specific diet where they want to include a lot of fat in their diet and no carbohydrates or protein. Although this is going to be protein here, so we'll find out how that works. I also want to mention to people that this is being sponsored by Factor 75, which is a meal box company, and I'm going to be showing you how to use their website in a little bit. But if you already have the wherewithal to go on your own, you can certainly do that by using my link, which is underneath the Twitch video, I guess. Use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. So I did that last night, and I'll show you how to do it as well. And let's see if you have any questions. It's Kate X says it's not roast beef, is it? No, this is not roast beef. Roast beef, coincidentally, this is the cause of a lot of confusion, is the name of my cat. Jackie Chun, I don't have dog food. Can I use normal beef instead? So sure, yeah, you can use normal beef for sure. Sleepwiz says the title says healthy diet keto fat bombs, yet none of these dishes seem healthy. There are some people who require massive amounts of fat in their diet, so it's healthy for them. But I don't know much about how the science works, but I do understand that this is a healthy diet. Okay, so let's take a look at what our next order of business is here. Boy, I sure do have a lot of paperwork here. Next up, we're going to take a teaspoon of beef into the bottom of each muffin tin cup, but actually in this case, we're doing this with our cake pop maker. So I don't know if this is on or what. It's very hot. Can you hear me? Help. Sorry, the reason I say help every now and then is because it's a good way to test your mic because of the P sound. P, help. So don't get alarmed if you hear me say something like that. Oh God, that's another one. If you say G or oh no, no is good because that's going to check the N sound. Okay, this is very hot, so I'm a little worried about how this is going to go, but we're going to do the best we can. I'm going to need a tablespoon, which we don't have, but we found out recently that apparently teaspoons and tablespoons are the same thing, which I never knew. So let's just start putting these in there. They're already cooking. If they overflow in the holes, you can just use them again. I'm going to try to get a little tighter on this. The idea here is that we're going to fill up each one of these holes with our meat. I'm getting a little sloppy, but that's okay. I can take the runoff and put it and use it to fill up the other holes. If you're just joining us right now, hopefully you've got some ground meat or fake meat in front of you, whatever you want, and hopefully you're oh, it looks like there's already some cheese in that one. We're making fat bombs, guys. This is part of a healthy, high-fat diet that some people find interesting. Okay, and then we're also being sponsored by Factor 75, which is pretty great, and I'm really looking forward to getting the boxes that I ordered, and I'll be explaining to you in a little bit how to get to the website and do all that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Next thing that we're going to do, it says put a piece of butter on top. And then we're going to press 1 teaspoon of beef over the butter, and then we're going to put a piece of cheddar on top of each. So it looks like we probably need to do a little bit of prepping here. I'm going to cut up our cheddar into slices. You want to put them so that these are going to go on top of. You know what's unfortunate is that I think that the cake pop maker is actually cooking right now, so that puts us in a little bit of a crunch for time. Okay, that should be enough in terms of that, but we also need to put butter on top. So I think with the butter, I'm just going to sort of, it's going to liquefy over. I'm going to get to your questions in a little bit because I can see that there's quite a few. This part's a little bit tricky, but you want to get the best that you can. You want to have a little bit of butter over each one of the holes. As it turns out, I had way more beef than I thought I was going to need. You can see it really sizzling there. I don't know why. I thought that it didn't start cooking until you close it, but that sucks. Anyway, it just, what it does is it puts kind of a unnecessary fire under our ass to try to get this done quickly, and I didn't really want that kind of pressure, but whatever. Ow, that's really hot, guys. Okay, let's put a little bit more burger over top. Covering up all of our butters. I might be able to get to a question here. Raziel's Lament says, I put my balls in the baby cakes grill and I'm now experiencing searing pain. I think I did it wrong. Yeah, you have to watch out with this thing because it can clamp up on you, but that could be just the model that I have. All right. There we go. All right, that's probably even too much, but all right, let's put our cheese over top. As you can see, there's holes over here too, so you're going to want to go a little bit above the holes. I see that a lot of people are subscribing. I want to say thank you to that, and I'll thank you individually as soon as I get a little bit of a moment, but this is a little bit of a high pressure situation. We also, I have a new video game that I'm going to be playing today that was requested on the Discord. And there's also a couple of other song requests. Some pretty good ones today, so I'll be getting to all that. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, this is going pretty well. We've got our meat seasoned with the salt and pepper and not garlic powder, but onion powder. Garlic and onion are basically the same thing. They cause the same sort of reaction in people. And what we're going to be doing now, we stuffed our holes with ground meat, and then we also topped it with a little bit of butter. That's the fat bomb part. I'm sure you're seeing a pattern with fat bombs having a lot of butter. And then we put a little bit more meat on top, and then we coated it with some cheese. It looks like the next order of business here is to cook it for about 15 minutes and then let it cool. I don't think this is going to take 15 minutes because we're using a cake pop maker, so I'll be checking this a little bit more frequently. Sorry. I'm just trying to get used to the screens here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So this is very hot, so I'm just going to let it fall. Okay, we're going to let that cook for a little bit. And that's going to turn into balls. Maybe this would be a good time for me to answer some of your questions. Jolly Austin, do you have any recommendations for dipping my balls? Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, Friendly Dad, do you have any recommendations for dipping my balls? Oh, that was Jolly Austin ones. I read it because sometimes it scrolls up and I see the same question twice. Fakan says, is microwaved coffee still real coffee? That's a good question. I don't think that it would be considered real in some circles. I've certainly microwaved my coffee in a pinch. For example, let's say you want your coffee to be hot and it's not hot. You could always use a microwave to make it hot. Limpy says, do you have any recommendations for dipping my balls? Okay, guys. I'm seeing that one a lot here. Gerda says, do you use anything planned for your 100th YouTube video? Do I have anything planned? Oh, no, that wasn't Gerda. That was Bled 101. That's a good idea to do something special. I did my 10-year anniversary last year where I made mush roll, and that was pretty good. Let's see what Gerda says. Gerda says, do you use sharp knives or extremely dull knives in the kitchen? I always like to say no sharp objects in the kitchen. This is a big one. The reason for this is that it's extremely easy to accidentally cut yourself and draw blood with a sharp object in the kitchen. And there's no amount of food that's delicious enough that it's worth cutting yourself for or cutting a loved one over. Except for maybe some types of, maybe like key lime pie or something. But generally speaking, it's just not worth the risk of harm that you could do to yourself or to a loved one. So try to keep everything good there. And I will say, since we are being sponsored today by Factor 75, that's another advantage of ordering your meals, is that you don't have to, it's very convenient. They come fresh and prepared, so you don't have to go in there with all kinds of sharp knives and risk hurting yourself over. But we'll be talking about that a little more. But I do want to say, I do want to say, if you want to jump the gun before we go to the website and you want to get signed up with Factor 75, you can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. That's 6 boxes of food. Delinquents says, Henry, I'm not very good with the Baby Cakes cake pop maker. Any tips for stuffing those holes without making a mess? You know, you could put a newspaper underneath it. Actually, don't do that. It might start a fire. I'm not sure. You could put maybe a towel or something underneath and then clean it up. To get something that's fire retardant or whatever. Hide White 2, can you teach us how to prepare fugu fish? That sounds pretty good. I've never heard of that. I will say that their recipe suggestions happen on the Discord, so you can suggest songs, games, and all kinds of other stuff on the Henry's Kitchen Discord. Recipes. Slashnock says, my neighbor's wife seems to be checking her microphone P-O and N sounds a lot. Should I be worried? Well, if she's saying help a lot, she might be testing the plosive. The P is a plosive. And if you hear other words that use S's or that would be sibilants. Uh-oh. Okay, it looks like we've got something going here where we're about ready to take out what we have. Let's see how this goes. Use an oven mitt for this. Okay. These aren't exactly balls the way that I thought that they were supposed to be, but they're pretty close. I don't know how to get this thing to stop cooking, so I'm just going to unplug it, which is probably the safest thing to do. There's also a lot of butter that collected down here, which is going to be a real mess to clean up. A mess in the kitchen is something that you have to do, unfortunately, when you decide that you want to cook for yourself. But I think this is probably just as good a time as any to mention that if you have no hassle prepared foods from Factor 75, you'll always have something nutritious on hand when you don't have time to think about making lunch or dinner. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So, all right. Let's put these on a plate. So you can use any old plate. I'm going to use this colorful plate, and I'm going to have a sip of my Keto Fat Bomb coffee. And let's take a look at what's going on here. I know that there's a lot of questions. Good Without God says, let's get these out and put them on a tray. I agree wholeheartedly. I also want to shout out to some of these people that have been subscribing. Farty Steve, thank you so much. Toan Nugent 1, thank you. Just PJ. Moki's Nirvana resubscribed for 4 months. Wow, thanks Moki's Nirvana. Sammy Abi has subscribed. EU, Elite Attack Ferret, Trooper Gaddy, the Smiley Potato, Margot Weirdo, Lembano, Jesse, Canrum, and I think that we're back where we were. Admiral Klee, Beelzebub, his gifted subs, Multi-Pop, Gushel. Wow, there's a lot of people. Brown Fart Marks, thank you. And then Caffey and Style Cramps, and then Pubic Pimple Pus. I think I remember that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these on a tray. I need a utensil of some sort. I'll probably use my spoon again. But we are making fat bombs, and they're actually coming out looking quite a bit like the picture, I think. Got to be delicate because you don't want them to break apart. Shit. That sucks. It's actually pretty difficult to make them not fall apart, but I'm doing the best that I can, which is all you can do in the kitchen. This recipe turned out to be quite a more of an ordeal than I guess I probably thought it was going to be. But what's going to be fun is we've got cookie dough coming up, and that, I guess there will be some cooking involved, but it shouldn't be as much. Hopefully the recipe has us eat it raw, because I'm a little tired of this cooking situation. Alright, well, that's going to be a bitch to clean. But, okay, well, that's what it is. And then I've got, going to leave some space here for our cookie dough fat bombs. So, at this point, let's go ahead and set these aside. Let's see how we're doing up against our goal picture here. Okay, so theirs obviously are a little rounder. You know, I'm trying to improvise a little bit with using this cake pop maker thing, so it didn't come out exactly as good, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to grab some of this cheese, and I'm going to eat it, because I actually haven't eaten breakfast this morning because I've been so busy preparing the stream. ID Thief, you could make the Dutch small mini pancakes, pofferties, in that double press grill you've got. Okay. I'll make a note. Maybe you could put that in the Discord, and that way I'll remember it. Death by Fugu says, describe the smell. A little burned, I guess, and also a little oniony. All right. That's enough eating there. All right. I'm going to do the cookie dough, but I think at this point, the nice folks over at Factor 75 who have an amazing service have sponsored this episode of Henry's Kitchen, and it's time for me to go over to their website, and I'm gonna show you how it works. I went through the whole process of ordering last night, and I picked, I think, some pretty good meals, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. So I just hope I can get everything working sort of from a technical standpoint here. Let's see here. And I'll be accepting whatever questions that you have. Let's see here. So can you see that okay? Mikey says don't leak. Shane Yes says, are you going to cook them? There will be an unboxing in a couple of weeks. But I'm going to tell you which ones that I got. But okay, so this is the website. It's your standard variety website. And I'm going to... the first thing you're going to do is choose your preferences. You can go to Chef's Choice, which are already picked out for you. Or there's Keto, like we've talked about, which you can pick as well. If you're vegan and veggie, you can do that. Calorie Smart, which would be the opposite of Keto, and Protein Plus. But most importantly, why don't we take a look at all of the exciting dishes that they have. So, again, if you want to sign up for this, the way that you would do that is you can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. It's really pretty cool. This is something to keep in mind. No prep, no mess. So as you can see, with what we've done today, I guess it's probably safe to say that we've made a little bit of a mess. Factor cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so meals come together in minutes, taking the guesswork out of what to make for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Factor even offers meals for those who are looking to follow keto, low-calorie, or vegan and vegetarian lifestyle. So let's talk about this just for a second. I cook, that's what I do. I love to cook, but sometimes it's a huge hassle. So that's one of the reasons that I'm looking forward to getting these prepared meal boxes. They're prepared by chefs like myself, and it's going to be exciting for me not to have to worry about the hassle, the cleaning the kitchen, the following the ingredients and trying to make sure I've got everything right and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot of problems that go along with cooking. I want to see how you guys are doing in terms of Left Proves Supernatural 1 is Henry's Kitchen on DoorDash. I'm not familiar. PI 141-59265. It's going by real quick. You shouldn't say like myself when advertising them. Okay, that's a good tip. All right, let's go back to the website. Herb crusted chicken with mashed cauliflower and toasted almond grain beans. Again, I ordered these. I'll be unboxing them in a couple weeks, but that right there looks like a delicious meal. It looks like it was pretty much cooked perfectly, and it's got some nice additions, flavor additions. So these are all cooked by professional chefs, so I think that's an important part of it. Yaya's Greek beef bowl with garlic zucchini and spiced sour cream. Keto Monterey spinach chicken. So already you can see that you've got chicken and you've got beef. So this is definitely not something where people are going to be limited in terms of what types of meat that they want to eat, because I know that I'll go through phases where I'll have a vegetarian diet, and then I'll just be craving beef like so bad, and so this is accommodating in that way. Chipotle rubbed pork chops, so now we're getting into even other types of beef with roasted cabbage, red bell pepper fondue. So I'll tell you, I ordered this last night, and the reason that I wanted to do that is I wanted to be familiar with the website before I tried to explain it. I went all in on chicken because I feel like for me, chicken is it's a leaner meat than pork or beef, but it's also not meat. It's not fake meat, and so it suits my sort of medium personality perfectly, and I was able to successfully do that. Just want to see if anybody has any questions here. I, for a second there, was thinking I had the coffee pot on, but I don't. Okay. Zodbane says, will Factor offer one of your signature dishes? I've always wanted to try your cooking since I struggled to recreate your genius. Thank you, Zodbane. Yeah, maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe I could pitch them some of the dishes that we've made here, like the buffalo cauliflower dish that we did. That might fit in. But it seems like they've already kind of got their thing going on with the chefs and stuff. Look at that. Texas cheddar burger with bacon, jalapeno, cauli grits, zucchini, and ranch sour cream. Looks beautiful. Pesto salmon. What am I saying? Salmon. Sour cream and chive chicken. So look at these dishes. They're masterfully crafted, and they're going to show up to your door. And let's talk a little bit about how that happens. Factor helps you avoid fast food and ordering in. Speaking of fast food, last night I broke down. I had made a bunch of food that wasn't very good, and tried to do that in the kitchen, and I just broke down, and I got in the car and I drove to a fast food establishment, and sure, for a second there it was comfort food, but afterward I did not feel good about myself one bit. I got depressed. I started crying and listening to sad music and looking at pictures of ex-girlfriends and all kinds of stuff that was negative behavior. I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah. So fast food is just it's a loser's game. Don't do it. Factor helps you avoid fast food and ordering in with no nonsense, delicious food, as you can see, that's ready quickly. So Factor's chef-prepared meals take the guesswork out of eating well, so you never have to opt for something that isn't good for you. And I want to stress that. Last night, if I had one of their boxes sitting here, I would have just gone in there and gotten it, and I would have gotten something that was fresh and healthy, and I wouldn't have had to worry about who knows what they're putting in some of this fast food stuff. All the ingredients are very clearly labeled, and it's very transparent. But let's take a look at some of these other delicious dishes that they've got here. apple mustard pork chop. Again, I went all in on chicken because that's the particular diet that I'm on. But that looks pretty damn good. Shredded chicken vodka pasta. I didn't get that, but I might get that next time. Vodka pasta. I like vodka and I like pasta, and I'm on a chicken diet. Shredded chicken is awesome. So it'd be pretty cool if I had that sitting there last night. Fiesta grilled chicken with hominy tomato sauce and elote style squash. So that's going to be pretty healthy for you. It's got all of the fiber in there from the squash, tomato sauce, and of course you've got your chicken, which is a protein. Just as a reminder to everyone, if you want to do this, there's some information on the top left of the screen there, but underneath the Twitch video you should see the link. So you can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. Let's see if we can go to a couple more of these questions. Trooper Gaddy says, do they cater for fat people too? I've been varying different weights throughout my life, and I've always said that if you ever want to know how much body fat that you have and what your body fat percentage is, a good way to do that is to look at your YouTube comments, because overwhelmingly they will be very honest with you about that kind of thing. So I don't know if Trooper Gaddy was saying this because they are having issues with that, but either way, it does look like actually there are some pretty decadent meals here as well. I mean, apple mustard pork chop, I would say, would be pretty decadent. Look at that, Italian sausage, pepperonata. Sounds Italian, with sweet potato hash. I've only been naming the stuff in bold, but like the apple mustard pork chop here has sweet potato and mash and Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts is one of my favorite. As a matter of fact, we haven't made those here, but I think that might be a good idea to do. These are all well-balanced meals, and if you like one of these dishes, you can certainly click on it. It's going to give you all of the information you need. It's got the calories, it's got the fat, 27 grams, saturated fat, carbs, sugar, dietary fiber, protein, cholesterol, sodium. If you're into nutritional information being transparent, it's here. But look at that. You can order a box of this and have it ready so that you're not going to go out to the fast food place. And it's got all the ingredients and all that. So now what I'd like to do is exit the full screen here so that I can go back to where I was. I'll go to, because I want to go through the rest of these. Roasted garlic braised beef with ranch mashed potatoes, broccoli, and cauliflower. I haven't eaten breakfast this morning, so this is a little difficult for me because I'm getting hungry and all I have so far is some cheese. I don't want to delve into our fat bombs just yet because we have more work to do and I don't want to ruin the presentation. Stuffed pepper casserole with roasted green beans. So that looks like it's probably one of the more vegan dishes. I also think it's important for you to know that if you go to the plans, if you wanted to go to vegan and veggie, for example, it's going to say, let's see, there's an area where it says My Plan. I haven't logged in. I'm in incognito mode because I was worried about my credit card information showing up and somebody stealing it and buying a bunch of stuff, even though they probably wouldn't be able to use it because it's got a hold on it. But when you're signed in, you'll be able to look at your own plans and see what exactly that there is there. But let's go ahead and look at some of the other ones that we have here. There's Chef Choice, dessert items. They also have shakes and smoothies, extra proteins. Okay. I'm going to skip all the way to the bottom and start coming up here. Some of these things might look familiar from some of the stuff that you've had. The air breather says, damn, that's why I was here. I don't know if I understand that one. Friendly Dad says, what food do you recommend to combat political extremism? I would probably say a nice comfort food, something like, for example, maybe a filet mignon and sherry cream sauce with garlic, cauliflower, mash, asparagus, and peppers. Roasted red chili mahi mahi with hominy, black bean, succotash, and ancho lime crema. 3-bean vegan chili. So with cornbread casserole and tofu based crema. So a lot of times the vegan food that I've had has been underwhelming in terms of diversity of flavor and taste. But the 3-bean vegan chili looks like it has cornbread casserole, tofu based crema, and a lot of other things. So the peanut Buddha bowl, cilantro, quinoa, gochujaro spiced peanuts, and sesame broccoli. I know that some of you are probably making fun of me because I'm having a hard time pronouncing some of these things, and I think that that's a testament to how exotic some of these ingredients are, because I don't even know how to pronounce them, and I'm a professional chef. So that's basically the website. So once you have chosen a plan, you select how many meals per week within that category. You could say 8, and then you select this plan. You would put in your email, and of course your address, payment details, and you can also go in and customize your meals and do that kind of thing. So anyway, once again, it's here. Cooking is difficult. I've never said that it wasn't. It's not something that's fun to do. It's not something that's fulfilling or satisfying or rewarding in any way. It's dangerous. It can sometimes cause bodily harm if you're looking at sharp objects or fire. It can cause psychological trauma or public humiliation. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the kitchen, and every time you go into the kitchen, you're taking your life into your own hands and you're putting it all on the line. If there's some times that you just don't feel like doing that, I highly recommend the Factor 75 meal plan. You can select whatever types of if you want to have a couple of boxes at the ready that are high in calories, that are more of a comfort food that'll keep you from going to the fast food, you can have that, or you can have the flexibility of having it be vegan or whatever your personal thing is, or keto, which I think it's time for us to get back to what we were doing here, which is cooking. But I'm going to say one last time here. If you want to order 6 boxes, you can save some money. use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 across $130 off across 6 boxes. So there you have it. Now, let's make some Fat Bomb cookie dough. So you can see we've got our Fat Bomb burger concoction. The next order of business is that we're going to, in a large bowl, using a hand mixer, we're going to beat the butter. Oh, so we need more butter here. Speaking of which, I'm going to have a little bit more of my coffee. Let's try to find a good bowl here. Here we go. We're going to use a work bowl. I don't know where my purple work bowl is, but we're going to use this one. I'm going to set this aside. And we're going to, in a large bowl using a hand mixer, we're going to use 1 stick of butter. I don't have a stick of butter, which is very unfortunate because I used it all up on the fucking coffee and burger stuff. So I'm going to use whatever butter we have left, and I'm going to hope that that's enough because, I mean, how much butter do they want us to use? Sorry if I sound upset or if I sound like I'm losing it a little bit, but I mean, I've got a stick of butter in my coffee and I put a bunch of butter on my burger, and now I ran out of butter and I'm trying to make cookie dough. So whatever, we're gonna I might even have a little more. You know what I do? I've got one of these things where I use the butter for something, and it's got some residue from the alright, I'm just gonna clean off the butter. If you have a bunch of shit on the sides of your butter, you can always scrape it off. Okay, so yeah, I don't think this was as bad as I thought. I'm just gonna take this whole thing and I'm gonna put it in there, and that's roughly a stick of butter. Maybe we could divide the ingredients in half and make less. But I mean, really, how much butter do they want us to use here? We're gonna beat the butter until it's light and fluffy using a hand mixer, which I think I have. Here we go. And you want to beat it until it's light and fluffy. And then we're going to slowly beat in almond flour, which I don't have almond flour, but I do have all-purpose flour. So if it's all-purpose, obviously that means that we could use it for any purpose. So I'm going to do, it says 2 cups, but I'm just going to do the 1 cup. In fact, I'm just going to do 2 halves of a cup. Alexa, how many halves of a cup is 1 cup?
According to an Alexa answer contributed, there are 2½ cups in 1 cup.
That's what I thought it was going to be. Sometimes you got to keep Alexa on her toes. Okay, so we're going to be stirring this for a little bit. Yar85 says, how are you this fast and good at math? Well, I guess just in everyday life, there's a lot of math that has to be done at any given time. Limpy says, the flour is unbleached. You should add some bleach. Let's see. You should add some bleach to your dough so it looks better. I'm not sure if it's that kind of bleach. I feel like bleach is something that's going to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Bleach is poisonous, I think. By the way, it looks like somebody has been buying the Factor 75 plan, and I really think that's very cool. I honestly am very excited about receiving my boxes of food, and I'll be unboxing them in front of you guys. And in the meantime, I want to let you know, if you're still interested in doing it, or if you're on the fence or whatever, you can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. All right. Well, I don't know how light and fluffy this is. I might actually need to put it in the microwave. That's what I'm going to do. Hold on. I think it was supposed to be pre-softened anyway. Flour and microwave, is that bad? All right, maybe I'll put it on a plate. This particular dish was a lot to try to bust out. I'm just gonna take the butter by itself, and somebody said it's bad to put flour in the microwave. I've never heard that. I don't know if that's gonna cause a fire, but I don't like to take chances with that type of stuff. Saring, do you prefer a spoonful of cinnamon or do you prefer the Tide Pods? Cinnamon is wonderful. Just don't take too much of it because you can die if you have several tablespoons at the same time. Everyone type Forson says, have you thought about pitching your Weenie Bites recipe to Factor 75? My chutney cheese Weenie Bites are probably about the best dish that I could call my own original. So yeah, maybe so. Oh shit. I think I left it in there too long, but no, this is gonna be okay. All right, I think it's time to start looking at what some of our other order of business is. If you find that the butter is clumping and sticking to your hand mixer or your whisker or whatever the fuck this thing is, you can shake it off. It's funny because it sort of gets trapped inside of it like it's an animal in a cage or something. I don't think this is the right tool. I'm gonna go back to using the knife. Yeah, this is starting to look a little bit more like dough. This is working out. Okay, so what do we have here? Our next order of business. Oh yeah, Fisu Mastari says maybe add the coffee a little bit. It has the butter. Yeah, I used up so much of my butter on the coffee. You know what? I'm not against that idea. I think I'm just going to use a little bit of coffee in here. Coffee flavoring, there's nothing wrong with that. People do that all the time. That was a killer idea. Tetrum says any dust will catch fire in the microwave, especially flammable ones like sawdust or flour. Wow, I did not know that. So I'm glad that you caught that. I think safety in the kitchen is very important. I've fucked up so many fingers and from knives and burns. I have one right here right now from last week. Okay, so I'd say this is light and fluffy at this point. Our next order of business is we're going to slowly beat it. Okay, we beat in the almond flour. We didn't have almond flour, but we have all-purpose flour, which should cover almond flour. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap. Place it in the refrigerator to firm slightly for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's already pretty firm. Using a small cookie scoop, scoop it into small balls. Well, guess what? We have a cake pop maker, although that thing's all... The cake pop maker, unfortunately, is all covered with meat, and I don't know if I want to combine these right now. So I think that we're going to just make them into balls. It actually doesn't say that we need to cook these, which I guess makes sense because there's no perishables in there. So I think it literally just says, oh, I see. No, we need chocolate chips. Cover the bowl and place it in the refrigerator. And then we're going to make it into balls. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put the chocolate chips. Sorry if I'm a little bit unsure about this particular recipe, actually about this whole day, because I have been getting these recipes from the internet, so you never really know what exactly you're getting. So it looks like what we need to do now is make this into balls. So I'm going to grab another plate here, and let's see here. This part's sort of relaxing, so maybe I'll be able to answer a couple questions here. Now that I had your attention, there's 3 tablespoons in 4 tablespoons. Just double checked with Alexa. Let me read that again. There's 3 tablespoons in 4 tablespoons. Just double checked. Well, let's triple check. Alexa, how many tablespoons in 4 tablespoons?
This might answer your question. 54 Australian tablespoons is about 73 tablespoons.
Okay, so maybe you're from, Fisumastari is from Australia. I didn't realize that they counted it that way. That's very interesting to me. All right, so our little balls are starting to come out very smoothly. Zodbane says, if I use almond flour, do you recommend using activated almonds or regular ones? I would go with the... shit. That one didn't clump right. I think what's happening is that the butter is starting to soften, and so it doesn't have that coagulation that it's supposed to have. But that's okay. We're not going to let it ruin our day here. I think we need more chocolate chips, to be honest. This might be why they wanted us to put it in the fridge for a little bit to jeez. Okay, we're almost there. I'm going to answer a couple more questions here. Zaber64 says, favorite member of the Monkees? I got to go Mickey Dolenz. It's a tough one, actually, but I think that Dolenz is sort of, to me, the embodiment of the Monkees. But it's hard to say that. But I don't want to start a beef about a band from 50 years ago. But that I think I would go Dolenz. And also I think he's the only one still alive. I'm not sure if I believe so. I think he's the last remaining monkey. Phil Critty says always activate your almonds. Sounds like good advice. Anon 140, put it in the microwave for me. Oh, for most softness. Okay. Well, I think we're doing okay here. I think that was sort of a fluke one. What the Duck says, will there be a Halloween or Thanksgiving special? I would like to make one of your recipes for my imaginary family this year. Yes. Come October, we've got a lot of Halloween recipes coming up. This is just sort of a little residue one. I could either attach it to another ball, but I think I'm just going to leave it there. And we're going to put that in the refrigerator like the recipe suggests. So here we have some cookie dough fat bombs. I'm going to rinse my hands here. And I think the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to put these in the fridge, and maybe this would be a good time to get to some of your song requests that we had. Alexa, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Okay. So I always like to say that there's a lot of waiting that happens in the kitchen, especially here at Henry's Kitchen, and it's very important for you to come up with something that you like to do to help the time go by while you're waiting for the world to go around. And so for me, it's music. I've got some nice requests from people here. I'm gonna have to cheat on the lyrics though. So let's see. This was a nice request that came to us from someone named It's Kate. Is it It's Kate X on here? Who wanted to hear this song from the Foo Fighters, who recently did an amazing tribute concert, and they sang this song with Taylor Hawkins' son. It was a tribute to Taylor Hawkins, who passed away, and it's a great idea to do an up-tempo song like this for our cooking show. Sorry, I have a thing where the headroom is a little bit much on here, but okay. Gigasoy says balls do usually come in pairs. Okay. Second verse. Don't the best of them bleed it out, while the rest of them peter out. Choose the consequences, say it aloud. Use that evidence, race it around. boy, that was a tough one. It was way too high. If there were a way to lower it, I would have. But somebody said voice of an angel. That's a very nice thing to say. Thank you. Transpose it. Yeah. We're going to try that one again. Maybe for my Thursday night stream, which is going to be coming up on Thursday night, where I mostly try to focus on learning songs and doing a little bit of games and stuff. Got another request, and this one might not go even as well as that one because I'm just looking at it for the first time right now, although I do remember the song. And it's also very high, and I don't know which key to transpose it into, but I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to see if you guys are still with me after that one. Purple donut filling his fruit. Have I ever seen Spinal Tap? Yeah, it's a wonderful documentary. Maybe support. There goes our Henry. Watch him as he sings. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to do the best we can with this song here. This is sort of, I guess you could say this is something that is sort of in the Jose Suicidio genre. This was requested by BZ Kaiser. When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are done. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known, but when I dial the telephone, nobody's home. I don't know how to do it. Can you guys tell me? All by myself. That's not it. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. That one's too hard. All right, here we go. We've got a song here that was requested last week, and it's a song by Jose Suicidio, whose music I know much better than any of these newfangled songs like that one. Actually, I think that song actually came out in the 70s. That Russian guy says, you sing higher. Yeah, I think I should have prepared that one before, because it really does sound like it'll be a nice song. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one song, and then we're going to arrange our food, and then we're going to play a little bit of a video game and see how that goes. There's something broken inside of me, something no one else can see. Something hurts and it's way down deep. I think there's something wrong with me. See, this one's more my range. I try to reach out to my family, I just get voicemail. I got friends that I never see, they say they don't have time for me. Every day used to be such possibility, but now every road that I take leads to sadness and despair. I put some pizza in the microwave, thought about it for for several days. When I was done, I just threw it away. I think there's something wrong with me. Jacoby says, too real. You can't be too real. There's something broken inside of me, something no one else can see. Something hurts and it's way down deep. I think there's something wrong with me. All right. Well, I think it's time to start taking a look at what we have here in terms of our wonderful food. So let's start by going into the fridge here. Alexa, how much time has it been?
You have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
Yeah, but these are hard as rock right now, so I don't think we need to worry about that. What we're going to do now is we're going to put these on our plate. Presentation is very important in the kitchen, even if you're just eating by yourself or cooking for yourself. We've got our burger fat bomb balls there, and we're going to add to it our cookie dough balls that we made in the cake pop maker. So there we go. And next up, we're going to have our coffee. Okay, so might as well get the logo there. Cup of happy. This is our breakfast, you guys. I like it. There we go. Let's take a look at what our goal here is. Okay, so you can see the cookie dough pretty much looks exactly dead on. Their burgers probably came out a little more round, and their coffee it's a transparent cup. So they, are working with a little bit more professional photography and production design and whatnot. Purple donut is fruit. Henry, do you have a picture you can post of yourself and Jose Suicidio? I've never seen you two together. I thought you could cover all of his songs. Though you can cover all of his songs. I don't think I ever got a picture with the two of us. So we have here a lot of people who are subscribing, and I want to say some thank yous here. Gentleman Ace, Mr. Dink's Vibrator, Anonymous, Loplo of 4, Schubert 13, Salix 211, Tin Carl, John Wallace, A Bowl of Milk, Ryako, Farty Steve, Toann Nugent. Oh yeah, and then it's back to the ones that we had. So thank you guys very much for the subscriptions, and I want to say thank you to all the people who have who have helped me out on this journey, if you want to call it that, of Henry's Kitchen live on Twitch. Let's start with the moderators. Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Dog Augie, Dr. Flanges, Bacchus. You're doing great work, and I appreciate that very much. These are people that came forward right when I started streaming a few months ago and have offered to help. And honestly, if you were there for that first couple of streams, it was just pure chaos. There was, people were saying horrible things. They were calling me despicable names, and But the moderation, I still get called names every now and then, but at least they are within reason. But anyway, I want to thank the moderators for doing a great job, and Bacchus, I don't know if I mentioned Bacchus, but also I want to say a special shout out to this community that I met really early on, Sir Doom, Daisy Blossom, Bumble Vision, and the LGX, who are streamers in their own right, and you can check them out. And also, of course, my friend Bill Larkin Music, who was one of the first people I called to ask about it. And then also I want to say a special thank you to Quanto, who came forward with these transitions, which I think is absolutely... Alexa, stop. Amazing work. Because it's reminiscent of the Henry's Kitchen YouTube videos, and it made me feel at home in this new platform. So thanks, Quanto. And I also want to thank... No thank you segment would be complete if I didn't thank Nim, who talked me into getting on Twitch, and also had me on his stream, and also has just been an amazing supporter. And also all these other streamers who have shown the Henry's Kitchen videos, like Forsen, Moon, XQC, Brian W. Foster, and many others. Let me know if I'm missing any. Moon, Nim. So thanks for that. And okay, well, I think it's time to go ahead and eat some of our breakfast. I'm looking forward to this because I am extremely hungry. Wow, it looks like we're still getting orders. This is great. I really appreciate it, and I won't steer you wrong. This is actually this is a wonderful thing, and I'll be unboxing it in a couple of weeks. So let's go ahead and eat some of the stuff that I made here. So what we're eating here is burger fat bombs, cheeseburger fat bombs. So this is almost entirely fat. It's got butter, cheese, and some beef. I used Beyond Beef, so that's cheating a little bit, but it's, for the most part, it's very high in saturated fat and very low in other nutritional value. Raziel's Lament, it's nice to see you upbeat today. We all need happy moments from time to time to distract us from the crushing deficit of existence, or something like that. It went by really quick, but thank you very much. Well, it's a lot of butter. There's been a lot of butter's been a kind of a big theme today. And when you get to a certain age, you're not really supposed to eat this much butter. This is basically just a butter situation here. You know, as you can see, we used a stick of butter and then they asked us to put more. But, alright, I'm going to try some of the cookie dough. Astro Wrath the Grim says, I'm looking very handsome today. Thanks very much. The sun is really bright, and from what I can tell, it looks like I'm kind of washed out, but I appreciate that. Yeah, it's the same thing here. This is just a lot of butter. Just like a shitload of butter in this stuff. But I'm so hungry, I'm going to eat it anyway. Butter is great for you, one of you said. Yeah, I guess. Well, I want to wash it down with my coffee, but that's full of butter too now. Nah, I'm not really feeling very good right now. And I don't mean just physically from all the butter, but I don't feel like this meal that I did went very well. And those songs performance kind of sucked on that too. So I'm going to try harder, you know. Tomorrow night I'm going to do my 9 p.m. stream, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, but I'm going to try to learn the songs a little bit better. Try to get them in a range that I can sing them, and I'm not going to be cooking food tomorrow too, so maybe that'll be an improvement. I don't know. Sometimes the kitchen can be hard. It can be very difficult. Yeah, this tastes like shit too. This is just, I don't know. I don't think I'm down with whatever this this fat bomb situation is. It's just nasty. It's probably just the way that I prepared it. I know it's a famous diet. The Kardashians do it apparently, but this is, maybe it's just not my cup of tea to have fat bombs with butter for breakfast, but you know, it's what it is. See if there's any questions here. Fishu Mistari, the bullet coffee needs a shitload of MCT oil. Okay. I'm not sure what that is exactly. So Fumistari says maybe try an electric guitar. Yeah, but it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I'm gonna try to fail at one more thing today, and that's that I'm gonna try to play some video games. Let's see here. I hope everybody's okay with that. I think we're done with the cooking segment. But one last time I do want to say, and I'm noticing that a lot of people are signing up with Factor 75, the company that's sponsoring Henry's Kitchen today. Factor's no hassle prepared foods. Make sure you always have something nutritious on hand when you don't have time to think about making lunch or dinner. And that would have come in real handy today, I gotta say. Grab a prepared smoothie or a keto shake for a quick snack, or heat and eat a chef quality meal in just 2 minutes with no prep or cleanup necessary. No prep or cleanup would be really good in this case, because we've got, I don't know if you can see what I'm up against here, but there's just a lot of, this is gonna be a huge amount of cleanup. And not even for food that came out very good. So that you can stay focused on what you love to do. I guess for me, cooking is sort of a love-hate relationship, but I am looking forward to the fact that in 2 weeks I'm going to get some of these boxes, and they're going to help me they're going to help me make it through the night, if you will. And I hope that you will. I want to say again, if I notice a couple of people are signing up, you can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. So that way, I believe I get credit for it if you go on there and order. But I will say that it's a good thing, and I'm looking very forward to getting some of these awesome meals. And I'm going to unbox them in front of you in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to have a refreshing sip of butter coffee or whatever. And let's get a little bit into the game I've been playing here. This part's always a little difficult. First I have to start the game. Let me see how that works. I appreciate everybody being so patient with this technical aspect of all this stuff. It's been a little bit of a learning curve. So maybe while we're doing that, I can answer a couple of questions from you. Let's see here. Yeah, already having an issue. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Okay, so this is a game that was requested on the Discord channel, and it's called Stray. And I'm gonna set up the camera on my cat, Roast Beef, actually, because hold on a sec here. Because this game is in honor of him. He's sleeping right now. I hope he's sleeping. Often when Roast Beef is sleeping, I ask myself, what the hell is he dreaming of, you know? Let's take another look at that. He's very lost in sleep. Sorry, there's so many questions. I have an ADD situation, so sometimes I look at the questions. But anyway, we got to stick to one thing at a time here. We're going to have maybe a bite of one of our cookie dough situations. And we're going to think about roast beef. And we're going to go to our game, which is called Stray. And it's literally about a cat. It's a very similar type of cat to roast beef. So I'll be relying on you in case there's any, what do you call it, technical things going wrong. Okay. Now again, forgive me. I have an Xbox controller, but I accidentally just got a bunch of flour and shit all over it. This is our cat. Let's go talk to this person. So far, it's pretty straight ahead. We're just, somebody says run it under the sink. That sounds like a pretty good idea. I guess we're meeting all the different cats. This is probably sort of a fantasy that you could look at for roast beef. My cat is getting very late in his life, and I think that a lot of times when he just dreams, he probably thinks about things like, you know, being a kitten and having these types of situations with his cat friends when he was young. Because as you can see right now, very old, but he's dreaming, and that's nice. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay. So it's raining, and it looks like everybody's going to sleep, and we're going to go to sleep here. My understanding is that this is sort of a post-apocalyptic situation. Kookaroo says, what sort of cat is that? I think it's called an orange tabby, maybe? Kookaroo says, cat in a hat, maybe? Should cook for roast beef one day. Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I'd be a little bit worried that maybe he's so old, maybe his digestive situation is going to be difficult. It's not going to treat him very well. Okay, so you can see there's it looks like maybe the head cat is over there looking at the journey ahead of them, and our cat roast beef here is on the right, and he's probably a little nervous, and there's some nice new age music going on there. Winter Wren says press the meow button. Yeah, I think that that's the B button. Right now it's doing sort of a video sequence that I can't really control. Wow. Okay, so there's some pretty big jumps here. Cats are sort of the original jumpers. This is a very relaxing game. You like to imagine that this is probably the kind of thing that cats dream about. So there, I can meow. The cat's meow is actually a very interesting thing. It's evolved so that it sounds very much like a baby crying, and that's why humans often will be attentive to them. So it's a little bit of a scam, I guess you could say. I'm just jamming through here. Oh wait, what was that? Oh, I guess I gotta wait for the other cats. I can drink a little bit of water here, I guess. Alright, enough of that. Wait, I'm supposed to talk to this guy, I guess. I guess when roast beef was young, you probably maybe had a little bit of a love mate or something like that, or at least a playmate in his adventures. Alright, so now everybody's freaking out a little bit, I guess, because it's a lot of heights, which I'm not really good with, but cats don't have a problem with it. It's often been said that cats have 9 lives. That's actually bullshit. There are some scientists that say that it's true. So if you want to just go with those scientists, I guess you could believe it, but it's just simply not true. There's a lot of bullshit stuff that people say. Alright. Getting a move on here. What's happening? So we're kind of waiting for something to happen here at some point. Going under some kind of tunnel. You can observe these other cats. I'll follow them. Somehow I got turned around there. This is where it goes into another one of these sequences. So roast beef, uh-oh. See, that's the problem. Cats don't have each other's backs. I think that if it was a dog, they would probably jump right along in with them, but cats just kind of stare when one of theirs is in trouble. That's gonna, see, now I'm looking at it saying, all right, that's gonna be some vet bills, because that's kind of what's been on my mind lately. All right. So it looks like now our cat is limping. We're gonna just call him roast beef. And he is dying. I guess he's dead. That's a pretty short game, actually. No, I don't think he's dead. Our real roast beef is still fast asleep, dreaming away of when he was a young stud and his friends abandoned him in a dark cellar. All right, I'm going to use this opportunity to look at some questions here that you guys might have. Oh, I guess let's see. Multi-Pogo Pushel says, what do we do with the salad, tomatoes, and mustard? Oh, shit. You're right. I'm not sure how that worked, but there was also tomatoes, lettuce, and mustard in the recipe that we had. Oh, Dead City here. I'm going to take a break from the game here for a second and address a couple of issues that we had with the dish. Because Pogo Pushel brought up a really good Multi-Pogo Pushel brought up a really good point. What do we do with the salad, tomatoes, and the mustard? I have lettuce and tomato that was completely untouched, and I'm not sure why it was part of the recipe. I might have missed something because of generally messing things up today. I'm trying to eat this stuff the best that I can. It's always very important to me to force myself to eat whatever it is that I make. And I think that's a good rule for you guys as well. The lettuce probably goes into the cake pops. That's ex-diaper baby eggs. That makes sense, actually. I'm going to have another bite of this. Waste not, want not. That's a great way to live. Style Cramp says, have you ever ended up making something you don't like? Yeah, I think today was one of those. It does happen every now and then, but you know, you gotta eat it. Wretch Leper says, is it okay to force guests as well? I think you should strongly encourage your guests to eat whatever food that you made. I mean, you did make it, whether even if it tastes nasty, it's still something that you need to, something that you need to eat because it's insulting. What the Duck says, any roast beef lore? How did you two meet? Roast beef was a rescue. So I'm imagining that whatever it was that happened before roast beef and I joined forces probably might be something similar to the game, which, by the way, I'm going to keep that game where it is, and then I think we're probably going to stop for today because it's probably a good cliffhanger. So roast beef was out with his friends being jolly, being a little frisky, running around, and then he got fucked because they all went ahead of him, and by the time that he got on this beam, it didn't have any stability anymore, and he fell, and his friends just sort of watched him while he was falling to his death. So now he's broken and in some kind of weird lost city. And when we get back, maybe tomorrow night, we'll play a little bit more and find out what roast beef's journey is like trying to get back with his friends. Osaku says, have you seen the movie Lightyear? In it, they had a reverse sandwich with meat on the outside and bread on the inside. Do you think you could take a stab at it for a recipe? Lightyear, okay. It's a reverse sandwich. That sounds great. And then maybe I can tie that in with the movie Lightyear. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that movie. It sounds like it's about space. Yeah, it was me. Friends, if you could call them that. Okay, everybody. I'm going to say thank you again for joining me here today. You've been very wonderful and patient with some of my screw-ups, like particularly the song, which didn't go as well as I wanted to. I wanted to do a fair tribute to Taylor Hawkins, and it just came out sounding like shit. But I'm going to try it again tomorrow, and the All By Myself one was even worse, but that I don't really care about that guy. He's still alive, and people probably fuck up his songs at karaoke pretty much non-stop. So I want to thank the people that signed up for Factor 75, and I want to thank Factor 75 for sponsoring this podcast. And I'm going to say one more time here because it's very important. You can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTOR SE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. And I also want to mention, because it's very important, that there's no prep and no mess. Factor cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so meals come together in minutes, taking the guesswork out of what to make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Factor even offers meals for those looking to follow keto, low-calorie, or vegan and vegetarian lifestyle. And also, if you're into fitness or wellness, fitness starts with food. And Factor makes it possible for you to achieve your daily goals through nutritious, purposeful eating, ingredients with integrity, and dietitian approved. So, thank you again, and one last time. I'm sorry, I have a hard time with all these papers here. You can use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code FACTORSE4324 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. I did it last night. It worked swimmingly, and I hope it goes as well for you. I'm going to have one last sip of butter coffee. I'm going to say thank you, to all the people who subscribed and all the moderators and all the people just generally tuning in, and I hope to have a fun stream tomorrow night. It'll be variety and it'll be exciting. And the best part of it is I'm not going to be cooking because I think I need a little bit of break after this, especially given the fact that I have to eat all of it. The meat's not bad, or the meat, I guess. Anyway, thank you all very much, and I hope I answered most of your questions anyway, and if not, you can go on the Discord. You can request songs, recipes, games. You can ask questions. I'm loving the fan art that's on there, and there's just a lot of exciting stuff going on there, so I appreciate everybody coming on today, and thanks again to Factor 75 for sponsoring. And let's all try to have a good rest of the week, everybody.